Hey, here we go. All right, kids. Well, we are back for officially my last segment of 2020 Virtual Ribberfest. So, babe, started started this morning officially at 8 a.m. doing some barbecue creeping. Went to four houses to peep their barbecue this morning, and then we started these little live streams at 11 o'clock this morning. So this is our I don't know, eighth I think. And so yeah, I've lost.
One, two,
I
carry the one.
I know it's fewer than the beers and drinks that I've had, so I'm not going to even try to count. But I figured on this wrap up segment, I think it was only appropriate to reach out to some of my NorCal Riverfest OGs, and so we got a few. Hey, Clatchy, you're getting good signal, but just because you guys are walking out there, you got a lot of background noise. So I'm just going to mute you for a second, okay?
All right.
Okay, cool.
So listen, we've got a few guys here. We may have one or two more join us, but we got my boy Bad Mood, Brian Moody. We got Darren Underwood there, and Dave Clatch. So B Mood, Bad Mood, and I and Wood played basketball together, Santa Clara University, where frankly a lot of the cooking kind of started when you're talking about especially where Brian is from. And well, I'm not going to throw it out right now, but Brian is from a place that is synonymous with California barbecue, even though Wood and I probably had to teach him how to barbecue. We'll get into that.
That's how it goes.
But anyway, these guys and Dave Clatch and Chica, who were wherever they live, whether it was Phoenix or San Diego, would always come up. And Dave was my unofficial Riverfest sous chef, and Jenny's bodyguard. And so fun to wrap this up with these guys. So why don't let's do this? Why don't we go around? B Mood, why don't you go first? Wood, and then we'll hit the Clatchies. But why don't you? We got people joining from Facebook, from YouTube. Why don't you give a little background, and I think even more importantly, or maybe not, but who you are, and then maybe talk for a second about Riverfest, especially Mood, you and Wood, and even Clatch. I mean, you guys were there when we started this thing 16, 17 years ago. So, so some of your Riverfest memories would be kind of cool.
Well, so without question, Craig, and love being here. That's such a great idea. We miss you and Jenny so much after Wood's eulogy to you in departing NorCal here at the last Riverfest we had. So, like you said, we go way back. I mean, Darren and I played ball together at Santa Clara, and we did a lot of barbecuing on that old Black Weber outside the dorm room there, and that's where it all started. So I think you're right. I think the three of us have been cooking. I've been cooking since I was 14, and we've been blowing smoke for a long time. And like you said, so I come from Santa Maria, and that Santa Maria barbecue down there with that red oak is just it's a tradition that is amazing. It's tough to get that red oak to get that right smoke, but yeah, we were there in the early days. I mean, the early starts. I mean, for me, the memories are the 5, 6 a.m. Smoked Bloody Marys that you always had ready for us. The night before, the trucks rolling in with the smokers and the queues. On Friday night, because we always showed up there on Saturday morning ready to go. And for me, the several wins. I got a couple of those. Hey, Doc, welcome.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you guys.
You always have. But, I think I think
But
my
the
favorite
first
part
rib
of this
cook-off
is
was
your
at
wife
my
being a
house
vegetarian.
before Ribberfest. Do you
That's
remember
right.
that, Craig?
That's right. The first, yeah, Doc was saying the first kind of rib cook-off was at Doc's way back in the day. I remember Obi there and everything, and I think that's kind of what gave me the idea of kind of continuing it.
Mm-hmm. And
Boy,
it's been a hell of a run.
It's been unreal. You know, those days, you know, being accused of bringing my whole family for votes. You know,
when they got off that bus, that's what pissed me off.
well, you know, you can only get people's choice. So, you know, when you got a big family, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You know.
That's when we had to modify the rules a little bit. We call it the Moody rule.
You got one vote per family. I love that year you brought the pig roaster in. I mean, man, that was a year, right? Marriage band showed up. No one will ever forget the coconuts.
Yep.
No one will ever forget jerk chicken.
Jerk,
you know?
JD's jerk chicken. Yes, we
it's a rib contest, and you show up with chicken.
Yeah, early days of Ribberfest when it was kind of all ribs, and one of our boys decided to do and not only that, he decided to do a bunch of chicken on my propane grill too. Yeah,
but I'll tell you, my 4 children still talk to this day about Ribberfest and the experience, the food, the people, the family, and that it's some of their fondest memories of their childhood is going to Ribberfest, and just great memories. Miss it. And
my boys remember the booze luge.
The booze luge.
Yeah,
those were days.
You got him drunk that day.
A lot of people might not know what a booze luge is. So either Craig let's talk about what a booze luge is.
So Jenny and I were just talking about that because I think the year before her and I started dating, we had the booze luge, and then the second year, the first year that she was there, we had it again. So booze luge is a huge block of ice that you basically take a router and you route a little luge trail down it. You put it on an angle on a couple of horses or whatever, and you pour the booze from the top down the bottom where somebody sucked it up. So the booze luge, shot luge, a few different names for it. And by the way, our boy Rusty Tomer was usually the booze luge carver. And I've got pictures. He actually was able to carve in Cmac Ribberfest in one of them, and yeah, the booze luge was a nice tradition there for a couple of years.
Can you imagine a booze luge today at a COVID-19 party?
Yeah, definitely pre-COVID on the booze.
Yeah, definitely a pre-COVID drinking method.
Yeah, there were a lot of germs scared those years.
Yeah, you just kind of wipe the ice away for the next person to put their mouth onto the luge.
That's right. That's right.
The good old days is what I call that.
Yes,
the good old days.
The good old days. Yeah. So, Wood, what any memories that kind of stand out for you?
So yeah, for me, I've been into barbecue for a really long time. My dad is from Ohio, and he was out barbecuing all the time during the summer. I have fond memories of being at home. He had a huge oil drum that his welding buddy had cut in half, put some legs on, and that was the big smoker barbecue that sat in our backyard. In addition to that, we had an old wooden ice cream crank machine. So he would have my brothers and I cranking away to make the homemade ice cream while he barbecued ribs. That's where I learned to watch him stack those ribs and let the juices just run through from the top to the bottom and keep rotating them. So that all came together when you started Ribberfest here, and we got that going. And it started so small, just a few buddies cooking up some ribs, a few people doing a little judging, and it blew up from there. So I have absolutely enjoyed it every year. Won a few. I know the Louisiana one. I was looking for my beads actually earlier. I couldn't find the big winning beads from the Louisiana time, but I love the themes that you throw in. I don't think there was a jerk chicken theme, but those definitely got whipped up one day by our buddy JD. But yeah, those are some great memories. It was, your house. I know you're in just a huge, beautiful house now, but it just seemed like a castle. People everywhere, all mingling around. And just having a great time and eating. I still see those photos pop up now and then where everybody is standing behind their dish before the voting started. And then I think we would roll up to the Goose to do a little karaoke afterwards. So the crawdads, that was another great memory. I think we brought the leftover crawdads after the flies had crawled all over them up to the Goose and continued to eat them up there. And for some reason, I don't know the reason, but it wasn't a bad idea at the time. We sat there eating them all night. So definitely some good times.
Holy man. Yes. I think the running gag was, will Cmac make it to the Goose? And I think I batted for most of Ribberfest. I batted about 50%. But those were long days. I mean, most of us were, rode hard and put away wet, towards the end. But some of y'all fools were still ready to go.
And I just want to also tell everybody that has joined what a treat it is right now, because we are, hold on, let me check the watch here, about 2 hours past Craig's bedtime right now while he waited for the West Coast. So a treat for you to see what Craig looks like at this time.
That's true. And listen, if you can see the screen, my buddy Sean Hopkins, I've talked before, to my folks out here about some of my favorite things in California. And you can see Sean throws up #swirls. So I know you guys all know what sangria swirls are all about. So let me go over to the Clatchies. What I know you guys are out doing a little walk and hike down in beautiful Southern California. So Clatch, what's going on? You guys would come up for Ribberfest. Dave, you'd be my sous chef. Any big memories that stand out from you guys for Ribberfest over the years? And you're on mute. You got to unmute your phone. There you go.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have any audio difficulties. But so many good memories. I mean, I've tried to bring the booze luge back many times since the early days. Love the booze luge. The Cajachina, that was phenomenal when we picked up the pig over in Los G and prepped it and cooked the big pig. That was fun. Then we brought Chica and introduced her to Ribberfest and all the good times. I think, we couldn't find any video, but the pictures of the mariachis was just off the charts. To have a bunch of Mexicans coming down the street with their big guitars, their hats was pretty.
Hey, hold on real quick, just for the record. So let me expand on how that happened really quick. Is so that was almost a total surprise. The Clatches were coming up from, they were either in Phoenix or I think they were maybe down in Southern California. I forget where you were at that point, but they arranged this mariachi band. It was our Latin theme Ribberfest, and unbeknownst to us, Dave kept on saying, "We got a good surprise. The last thing on my mind was, halfway through Ribberfest, all of a sudden through the back gate would come a mariachi band playing music. I've never seen phones come out so quick, and I don't know how we didn't catch video of that, but it was absolutely probably a top 3 classic Ribberfest moment.
Well, it was because of the Bloody Marys that we started off in the morning.
True.
We sort of lost it.
Yeah, I knew those Bloody Marys.
Yeah, there was a lot of early morning drinking associated with Ribberfest generally.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
I would say late night the night before, early morning back into late night.
Yeah,
so
it pretty much carried through. Some people didn't really stop overnight. I won't name any names, but
Out at the ranch.
So Doc, you've been there since the get go. Like you said earlier, you had the little rib competition in your house, and then somehow it kind of shifted over to our house a little bit. So what I mean, you were there I think every year except for I think you had a wedding one year that you couldn't make it. But you also, by the way, were the only recipient of the Lifetime Ribberfest Award. I hope that is still prominently displayed somewhere.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's plastered on the kitchen wall. Right?
It is plastered somewhere. So yeah. Doc, what about you? Any Ribberfest memories that stand out?
Well, just cooking with you guys has always been a blast. Particularly when we did the big green egg thing together.
Oh yeah,
and that was there was no judging that day, because our food was awesome.
Yeah, and, listen. That I got to say that best menu in that whole egg fest, easily. Yes. And the best food came out too.
That egg fest with the waffles and the smoked bloodies. Oh,
we just didn't know the rule. We didn't know it was all people's choice, so we didn't have enough people there. But I didn't
bring my family.
We needed the Moody bus needed to pull up.
I needed
didn't have it.
Show up.
What those guys cooked those Costco meatballs in one, right?
Yeah, and the frozen waffles.
Frozen waffles. We were straight pressing fresh buttermilks.
Yep.
Lego My Ego won the contest. Yeah.
Well, it's I just wish we could all do it together again. I was supposed to be back in Massachusetts for the week before.
Yep.
The week before, and I was going to try to extend the trip, but then everything was canceled. So,
well, listen,
next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the deal. So, Whit's coming out here to school on the East Coast. Wood, you guys are, your kids are out of the house.
We're empty nesters. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I know. I know what you were looking for.
Yeah. And Doc, you're a great grandfather probably by now. So
not great.
So
just a grandpa. I have one.
All right. So I think that listen, and like I've told you guys all this, I've got a great group of boys out here that you'd be really impressed with, and that group is growing. I think you need to make it out, to next year's Ribberfest.
Well, my college reunion is postponed till next year, so I definitely will be coming back, and hopefully it's within the weekend before, the weekend after, and I'll definitely do it.
Excellent. Cool.
So hey, C-Mac, I got one memory that came back real quick of how steep the competition was at Ribberfest. And I don't know, because Doc, you might have been, because if you remember C-Mac's house, right, you had the porch. Right. And and the fellas, we got the spots on the porch. And then you had the late arrivers who thought they knew how to cook ribs, right? And they throw them. Remember this? They throw them in on Craig's gas grill. Yeah. Because they boiled them before and then showed up and
the boilers
sitting there, and all of a sudden the flames started shooting out of Craig's gas barbecue. And Doc, I know you were standing there. Wood, I don't know if you were standing there, but I remember looking over, and flames were shooting out. This guy's ribs were burning. And there ain't one of us that moved.
Listen, and B-Mood, I appreciate you not putting Bill Marcus's name out on blast.
We literally, that thing was on fire, and there wasn't one of us moved to help those ribs.
And
that was kind for the parboiler in chief.
Yeah, the old Oklahoma Joe's. We used to keep it at your house.
Doc, in one of my segments earlier, we were talking about how great that little pit was, and your buddy that picked it up, I think that was going to be his first smoker.
He's still using it.
Yeah,
He's still saying how good it is.
Oh yeah, no, that was a great. Listen, when they made them back in those days, it may have shook a little bit, but that thing's never going to rust through. They'll last. They just don't make them
Mac,
like that anymore.
another thing, I mean, obviously it was ribs, but all the other food, getting potato salad mixed in there. The Cmac and cheese is something we still make today.
Hold on.
You've taught them how to make that back east. That's something that they shouldn't be missing out on. Our kids request it still all the time, and you had to make a separate tub for Jonah just by itself for him to go through. So
well, I know
great memory.
I pretty much know every about 6 months or so, I get an email from Beth saying, "Hey, can I get that recipe for mac and cheese again, for Cmac and cheese?"
But you got to get the one with the haglos in it, though.
With the what?
The jalapenos.
Oh yeah, you got to have the jalapenos. That's spicing it up.
I used to watch my blood pressure go up by 10 points after eating a little spot of that.
Yeah, that was no joke. So I remember, I forget what it was, probably about 2012-ish, 2013. We talk about how it kind of grew, and I remember one of the last ones kind of we had at our house, and I greeted somebody. I was happened to be out in front, and I greeted somebody. I said, "Hey, I'm Craig. This is my house, and come on in." And said, who do you know who invited you? And they said, "Oh, so and so." And I said, "Well, I don't know them either." So it's like it got to the point where it was like 3 or 4 people removed, and I said, Jenny and I both said, yeah, maybe it's got a little too big, and so we had to find a way to kind of thin the crowd a little bit, and so we decided to move it for a couple of years to our family ranch in Salinas.
Definitely.
I don't know about you guys, but I thought that was fun too.
Probably a couple of my favorite ones. Blazing Saddles on a Friday night together. Yep. Wood, you, me, just a couple of OGs watching Blazing Saddles off your small camera that projected on the wall.
Yep.
Dude, your aunt, who's probably one of the sweetest ladies that walks the planet.
My cousin Jane.
Oh, it's your cousin. Popping some caps. Doing a little. I think it was it Dewey that showed up with the gun in the lock case.
No, that was no. It was Mike Nielsen showed up and pulled a 45 out of his trunk.
Yeah, that was a little scary. Some of us aren't allowed to do that. No names, though.
For the record, I'm not sure it was in a lock case. By the way, I think it was old.
No, it was a lock case because he was trying to open it, and I was like freaking out because he didn't know if it was loaded, and he was like bending it all over. And I was like, oh my God! I'm like, dude.
Yeah. It sounds like Nielsen.
We finally get it out, and we popped a couple of 45s, and we had a 22. And what was funny about all that was the BB gun with the kids was the most fun thing that they tended to have some fun with.
Oh yeah. No, there was some shooting.
Cmac,
there was some droning.
Some droning. I know. When you went before we hit the ranch, I know you and Jenny were hitting up against the limits of the house when you had to get your sign that said "Friends of friends cannot bring friends." So that was pretty cool.
The greatest sign ever.
That was exactly it.
I love that sign.
Oh, my favorite part though about the ranch was the Tilton Hilton though. And Thayer didn't make it, but that picture of her in the cowboy outfit that wasn't much of a cowboy outfit in front of the Tilton Hilton.
That was the best cowboy outfit.
Well, you know what? Listen, I'm a little upset that Thayer wasn't able to make it either because she did. She did good. Oh, there you go, Wood.
Hey.
Wood, can you see that?
Oh wait, yes, I see it. There it is. That is perfect. I love that sign. I
But,
love that
yeah,
sign.
We
she,
already need that here in Amesbury.
Oh, I was thinking you did.
Doc, I opened up
Get
with
that puppy hung up.
a little
Tiny.
Russian river. Hey, C-Mac, I just want to throw out, is there any other Riverfest winner that actually won peoples and judges? Just curious.
back in the day, I'm not sure. I don't remember if there was a sweep. Now, first year out here, there was a sweep, but there was also some controversy, around that. So this one,
Controversy.
oh yeah, I'm not even
I'm
into it.
thinking that only happened once, with some Asian pear bones, but
There's can you guys see the screen?
classic
Yeah.
photo.
Oh yes, there we
So
go.
That was in the very early days. That may have been I don't know, first or second one. There's the famous Booze Luge.
The luge.
Oh, very
That's right.
nice.
Yeah. There's Doc with I think that was the first year we did shirts. We had the Riverfest Kiss logo in the front and the pig with lipstick on the back. But there's Doc. Speaking of the Oklahoma Joe, there was the
Right
classic.
next to the keg of beer. I had a good
I'll tell you
position.
that was the other thing, C-Mac, was every year waiting to see what your logo was going to be. That was almost tradition right there.
Right? Oh yeah.
Never knew what the logo was going to be.
So there's Cousin Jane and food line out at the ranch
Yep.
with
Oh,
the
very
hills.
nice.
You mentioned the Tilton Hilton, Moody.
Tilton Hilton and the cowboy outfit.
And Anna, yeah, that's a real cowboy outfit.
So
Right.
there's cowboy and coconuts. Those are the two things. Both start with C, if anyone was wondering.
Yeah.
So here's the funny thing about this year's up at the ranch is that when Thayer got there, I was over sitting with my with Aunt Pat,
great
my
aunt?
great
Yes.
Aunt Pat, who is the matriarch of the ranch, and I want to say Aunt Pat is 95, 96, and still going strong. But she came out. She never misses a beat, and she came out to Riverfest actually both years. But I remember I was sitting over with her, and Thayer comes over wearing that outfit, and I thought Aunt Pat's eyes were gonna fall out of her head, and she's like, "Huh, that's interesting." So that was a good memory as well. And this one from I posted this picture, Wood, and the accompanying video on the Riverfest page the other day. The Riverfest Sentinel, my obituary on our last Riverfest there before we, which was just a few weeks before we moved out to New England.
Yeah, that was
Definitely. There it is.
But
What's that?
that was an all-time presentation. The Cmac eulogy.
That was
A certain part of all of us had died that day, so I felt the eulogy was fitting.
I tell people, I said, listen, I'm not even sure my friends really cared much that I moved out of state, except for when it came to Riverfest. That's pretty much the only reason they really cared.
Up with you because of Riverfest, but other than that,
we miss Craig one day a year.
One day
a year.
That's right.
year.
What you got?
Hey,
Doc's pulling out of his awards.
It's upside down.
It's upside down, Doc.
Well, that's the surf and turf.
Not to Doc. It's not upside down to Doc. It's okay.
Okay. 10th annual.
First place, we did a little surf and turf that year.
I won it back-to-back years. Two totally different recipes.
You did.
Yep.
One
was like a chipotle, agave, a tequila, añejo tequila sauce. And the other one I did like an Asian fusion the next year. And everyone loved the char siu bits. that we used to do.
That Asian fusion, because I won a couple times on the Bad Moods parrot bones, which were Vietnamese kind of smoked braised short ribs in a Vietnamese caramel sauce with fish sauce. And
Wow.
you know, I think as we went through, we learned that I think sweet tended to be kind of something that grabbed the crowd.
Yeah, they like honey.
You know, that's it. You know, this year was a little. We can show here I was really feeling it for a Korean barbecue. I whipped up some Korean barbecue for beef a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, I need to hit that up again. And I know we got a little Koreatown outside of Dallas there, so I felt it was close enough to fit the theme. But I know those puppies are smoking away right here. A little corn waiting, a little Korean barbecue, and Bad Mood got me on to a hoisin barbecue sauce here. So I whipped that up and got it going. I'll give the people a close up as we scan.
What are you cooking on these days? What is that, a Traeger?
I'm cooking on a Traeger. Yes, I love the Traeger. You can see here a little wide view of the Traeger, but I absolutely love the Traeger for the smoking.
Yep.
And then turning up the heat, and they get up, past 400 degrees. So we can't quite, do some of the things we can on the egg, but it does everything I need it to do. So all good.
The new Weber pellet grill can get up to 600 degrees. They say. I've never used it.
Well,
I was just reading the specs the other day.
Yeah, there's some buzz going on around that one. I've seen pictures of it. I haven't seen anybody cooking on it, but
yeah.
Well,
and it's got a little boiler on the side, so I can boil the ribs like our buddy Bill Marcus, and then throw them right on the grill. Yeah, that was a joke. You can all laugh to that. I've never boiled a rib in my life.
That's right.
That whole Asian fusion, because you remember, Craig, that one year I actually did beef shorties in an Asian fusion, and I won peoples on that. And but again, kind of that back to that spicy, sweet kind of Asian fusion on with that fish sauce, and I mean it grabs people. It's a twist from kind of traditional barbecue.
Those shorties were good, and Wood's going to remember this too, because and I really thought that was an amazing feat that you won, since you cooked about 6 short ribs for a party of 150
exactly.
people.
Yeah. Everybody got one tiny toothpick worth of short rib, so they thought they liked it, and before they could figure out whether they could get another bite or not, it was all gone. So that's why he won. But
and even more impressive that I won with only 6.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That was the first 6 that Moody's seen in a long time. Not going to go any further.
Doc?
Hey,
Doc,
I just jumped in with my remote camera. Can you throw that on?
What?
I just jumped in with a remote in the stream. You see it?
No.
I added let's see.
Oh, you have another camera here? You joined the meeting a second time?
Put the camera on.
No, I don't have anybody else join.
What did Doc whip up here?
Doc, what are you cooking today?
Well, I made a red cabbage peanut slaw. I sent you guys a picture of it earlier, and then I smoked some St. Louis ribs, and I got some baked potatoes and a green salad going. So
nice.
It's the ribs are upstairs already. They're just, I didn't sauce them. I'm going to cut them up, and if I want to sauce them, you want to see them, huh?
Yeah, go get those ribs.
Okay, let's go take a look at those bad boys.
All right.
And while he's walking, Mac, I'll show you. We didn't do Cmac and cheese, but I was thinking, what else can I have beside it? And so, mom's and pop's potato salad is chilling right here in the fridge here. So,
oh yeah,
we'll get that for some people.
Nice. Doc, can you give us a little view of the ocean there, of the Pacific?
No, it's a little too far. Say hi to Craig. There's Jared and Kathy.
Hey guys.
Darren. And Brian.
How y'all doing?
Anyways, so we're going to show you the ribs. Jared, would you mind holding the phone? Can you do it? They want to look at my ribs. It's a virtual rib cook-off.
That's right. We want to see your dad's meat. Jared, how you doing, buddy?
I'm all right.
Good. Good seeing you, man.
Back at you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. How is it out there?
It's beautiful, man. We got a beautiful weekend. We're sitting out here on the deck, and it's about 75 degrees, no wind, sun's starting to go down. It's no bugs, knock on wood. It's a good day.
Okay, so
Gotta say it was a good day.
That's right.
Okay, so well, we can show them the slaw later. They want to see the ribs. That's the most important thing.
All right, there you go, Booty. You got two going on now.
I was just gonna try to flip this around so we could do a little video on what's going on with those ribs.
You may need to turn the mute one of your devices because you're getting a lot of echo.
I think I muted my phone. Am I getting feedback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you guys, Doc, those are looking good. So as you guys are doing that, one of my buddies, Ron, Captain Ron from the Big Green Egg.
What do you think, guys?
Oh, those are looking good, Doc.
There's some texture to them. They're not boiled.
Bill Marcus had to make us all say things like this now. Thanks, Bill.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
I know, Doc. You never boil ribs. That's that's as people love to say. When you boil ribs, the terrorists win. So
I've heard that before.
That's right.
Okay, so let's just show them what the slaw looks like.
Ah, a little red cabbage slaw. Nice, nice.
Here we go.
I saw that earlier.
Yeah, and
Steve, I think I'm back on.
So we're going to be eating well in a few minutes, but I just had one taste of those ribs. I need some more. It came out perfect.
Get on those ribs. That's a nice spread you got, Doc. All right, B Moody, what you got going on the egg?
Good try.
So I'm going to throw this little camera down here. So I've got this brisket that I got wrapped up in butcher paper. I didn't do it in foil because my friend Aaron Franklin says that you shouldn't do that. So we've got some babies over here in foil, and we're going to pull these off now and let them set. So let me pull these off, and I'll be back to you.
Okay. All right.
Well, Craig, I think I'm going to eat dinner.
Doc, I'm not going to stand between you and a good spread like that. Listen, my friend, it's good seeing you guys. I appreciate you joining, Doc, and hopefully, once all this stuff is over, we can get you back out to your homeland out here on the East Coast, and we'll hang out and do some cooking.
Sounds great. Good to see you guys. Can't wait to see you all. Reunion,
Alrighty.
Ribberfest reunion, Massachusetts next year.
Ribberfest Reunion 21.
That'll be it.
All right, Doc.
Signing off, guys. Take care.
All right, buddy. See you later.
All righty.
All right.
Later, Mac.
The Doc is gone. So, Wood, your food already ready and ready to go?
I believe so. I'm doing some cutting into it here, if you can see.
Yep.
Yeah. So
nice color. Nice
we'll
color.
see what we have. Yeah, I got a little color going there. So I'll kind of test it out, but we're close, definitely.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Moody's
like Moody's.
Is B? Are you trying to hook up another 2 or 3 cameras, or what's going on?
Yeah, so I'm trying to get a little. I'm gonna go see if I can get a little assistance here, but.
All right. Lep, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the wrap up, man. Wrapping it up with some of my OG Ribberfest homies. Just as I said, no bugs. I think I got a couple of skeeters buzzing around me. So
Couple skeeters.
I'm seeing Moody's feet right now. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's
some good TV there.
I hope he's not going to the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
No, I had to bring one of the original OG supporters in.
Hi, Kate.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Hey,
Good.
what's happening?
Our favorite
He's
Moody.
A little, photo,
What am I doing?
So I just need you to we're going to swing this around. Get over here so we're clipping.
Where am I? Oh, hold on. Let me flip this. It's on me. How do I flip?
No, you have to turn it.
How do I do that?
Just turn the phone around.
Oh.
There we go. And then kind of look down here.
What am I supposed to be looking at?
You got it.
We're gonna
Perfect.
see if you get. So I was going to try to get this brisket open here.
All right, nicely wrapped.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's going to dump everywhere. It's got a lot of juice.
Oh yeah. Save that juice,
That
baby.
knife.
That juice.
Off the board. There we go.
Now don't bring Scott along, because Scott will take your juice and dump it out like he did to me. So got to keep an eye on that.
That's right. Juice dumper Scott.
Yes, that's what I call him.
No. There we go. All right, we'll set this off.
Wait, it's like Vanna White over there. She's the Vanna White of brisket.
There you go.
That doesn't look bad. Oh, give me another jiggle. There you go. Oh, that's some good porn.
You know what? You know that fat's rendered when you can get a little jiggle out of that brisket, huh?
Yep.
So there you go. Got a little brisket. We're going to let her set. And then we'll set this guy off over here. Set that set. And let's see what these ribs did. Little set of baby backs.
Looks like it's on a brisket.
There we go. Pull these down. All right, I think we came out okay on the 2020 Cookoff Cmac.
I think so. I think it looks good.
You know, I think one of the keys that we talked about was, I think the green egg cooks a little bit faster than. See if I can get this over here. I think that green egg cooks a little faster than one of those, kind of an indirect cooker. But this meat looks pretty amazing. So we're going to let this set for a little bit, and then I've got some stuns coming over. But I think it will knock that out.
I think they will be happy with your cooking this evening.
Just let that brisket set up. So thank you to my Vanna, my camera girl.
So
Vanna.
B, we got a question from Captain Ron from Team Green BGE. Fat up or fat down? What'd you do?
So I kind of went point up. I'm cheating a bit because I kind of copied what Aaron Franklin did when I watched his masterclass. So he kind of goes with that flat side down with the.
Lulu, hold on. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Which is how I did it. Like I said, I think on an indirect heater, you've got a little bit, or an indirect cooker, you got a little bit more capability to make sure that point is facing towards the heat. But on the green egg, you got 3 points where that heat comes out. So my tail on that brisket probably got a little bit done because I couldn't control the direction of the heat because it comes from 3 ways. So, but it looks like it's jiggling okay. So I think that fat rendered well, and it should cut up nice.
Good timing. Thanks, John. Hey, B. So I just got to share this with you because one of my neighbors and friends, John Moores, just stopped by and dropped me. Looks like we got a little a Texas Twinkie as well as a little tri-tip.
A little tri-tip.
We got a little tri-tip, so we got some slices of tri-tip for me. I'm very excited. So I'm going.
Wood, how'd those ribs come out?
I think they're coming out all right. I definitely didn't overcook them. They're soft. I maybe could have left them in the aluminum a little longer, but they've got a good firm texture, so they're not just falling off the bone. So I kind of like that. So I'm just letting them dry out a little more on the grill there, on the smoker. But other than that, I mean, one of them's already been knocked out and gone. It's finishing disappearing right now. So it's
now.
Good.
What are the kids home right now?
Kids aren't home right now. No, they're both still at their respective schools. Son gets to work out in basketball when, obviously nothing was open up here, and daughter's down in Santa Barbara. So we've got a lot of food here and, enough to last for the next week, probably, Beth and I.
That's right. Leftovers are good too.
Yeah, they are. Is that Moody's second camera going? Did he get that going?
I did get it going, and then I elicited Vanna, aka Moody, to come help me.
All right, looking good.
That brisket came out nice.
I gotta say that that tri-tip that John just dropped off is tasty.
I was a little upset, at Ranch Fest, but I almost won Ranch Fest with tri-tip. If you remember, I did just simple salt and pepper on that tri-tip on that open pit that you had there. That was just that pit was amazing. But we did the beans and the garlic bread, and but there's something about that tri-tip cut that's just pretty amazing. You were saying you had some trouble getting it out there in New Hampshire.
Yeah, it is. In California, and
it's in every grocery store
on the West Coast. You can go to the grocery store and they'll have regular tri-tip, and they'll have probably 2 or 3 different marinated tri-tips.
Yeah.
Out here, out here, it's all about steak tips, marinated steak tips, which we don't have on the West Coast. And
what kind of steak they're using on those tips? You know
what? I'm not even sure what cut it is, but they're pretty damn good. But for us California guys, there is nothing like a good tri-tip. John.
Yeah, Santa Maria style. That's old school.
Yeah, but I have turned quite a few people onto that cut out here, and we found some places where we can find it pretty regularly. There is actually a Trader Joe's in Portsmouth, about 20 minutes away, and they'll usually have them. Probably pre-marinated or something, but actually, I don't think they are pre-marinated out there. But they're kind of small and folded over. But they're still pretty good. All right, boys. Nice. Well, listen, it has been a long day. It's about 7:50, and as B said, it's about 2 hours past my bedtime. So I'm going to wrap things up, and so I thank you guys for joining us or joining me and sharing some of your Ribberfest memories. I'll tell you, it has been, again, a labor of love and a lot of fun. You guys were there since, from the get-go, and saw, it go from, 5 or 6 of us in the backyard to, 120 people packed into a little tiny backyard to the ranch. And again, hopefully we can get you guys out here for next year, knock on wood, if we can kind of go back to doing stuff like that. And
Knock on what?
Knock on what?
Wood.
knock
Yeah.
on
Okay.
Careful.
knock on wood.
Can't be knocking off.
Yep.
Is
And
still there?
and thanks for you know, all everybody that's joined today and been a part of this. It's been you know, in the absence of being able to do it in real time, face to face, it's been the next best thing. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm gonna go finish off this tri-tip and some jalapenos, have a beer, and probably just crash. So
There you go. Peace to you, brother.
That's good.
you guys have fun, and
Thanks a
we will
lot.
talk to you soon. Everybody else, thanks for joining. Kevin, Ron. In fact, let me go down. Messy Mike, the boys from Neps, Greg, Chris, Kevin, Hoppy, Ron, Mags, Hussy, CJ, my OGs.
What a day.
We out.
All right.
Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.